Why do some people become completely silent the moment they step into a group? Not shy, not awkward, not interested, just silent. Almost like their brain switches into a different mode. You've probably seen this.
Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone you know. But here's the strange part. Most people judge that silence without ever understanding the psychology behind it. Some think the quiet person is rude. Some think they're weak. Some assume they have nothing to say. And others even think they're judging everyone. But the truth is far more complex and far more interesting. Silent people in groups aren't empty. They're overloaded. Their mind doesn't shut down, it speeds up. While everyone else talks on the surface, they're analyzing beneath it, studying tone, tension, dynamics, intentions, energy, every little detail. Most people speak to fill the space. Quiet people speak only when their words can change the space. But let's go deeper.
There are three powerful psychological forces that make someone go quiet in groups, and each one reveals a part of their mind that most people will never notice. First, quiet people tend to have hypersensitive awareness. They pick up things others miss, the shift in someone's expression, the small discomfort in someone's voice, the hidden competition in the group. Their brain is wired to detect everything happening at once. And when the brain processes too much, the mouth naturally says less.
Second, they have internal dialogue stronger than external conversation. While others talk to be heard, quiet people talk to understand, and most of that conversation happens inside their head. And third, the most important one, quiet people don't feel safe in groups until the energy is right. Not because they fear judgment,
but because they refuse to waste their words in places that don't deserve them. Silence, for them, is a form of intelligence, a filter, a shield, a strategy. If you've ever wondered why quiet people seem calm, mysterious, or unreadable, it's because their silence is not emptiness. It's protection. It's control. It's awareness. And maybe it's the very thing that makes them the most interesting person in the room.
People assume quiet people don't talk because they're shy, insecure, or socially weak. But psychology says something very different, something most people never notice. Silence is rarely a sign of weakness. It's a sign of processing. It's a sign of control. It's a sign of depth.
Quiet people in groups operate on a completely different psychological frequency. While the average person reacts instantly, the quiet mind pauses, observes, analyzes, and only then responds. And this creates a powerful difference in behavior. 1. They don't compete for attention. They evaluate it.
Most group conversations are full of noise. Who's trying to dominate? Who's showing off? Who's pretending to know more than they do? But quiet people step back and watch the entire social puzzle fall into place. They don't rush to speak because they don't need validation. They want truth, not noise. They want meaning, not performance. Where people mistake as quietness is often just high-level social intelligence in action. Their brain processes deeper than the group can follow. While others talk, the quiet person is running a full emotional scan of the room. Who's genuine? Who's hiding something? Who's uncomfortable? Who's performing for attention?
who's feeling left out? This constant analysis uses mental energy. So instead of wasting it on small talk, quiet people conserve it for conversations that actually matter. This is why they often surprise everyone when they finally speak, because their words come from a place of clarity, not impulse.
3.
They protect their energy like it's currency. In groups, some people gain energy, others lose it. Quiet people fall into the second category. Their brain is wired more sensitively, so too much noise, chaos, or emotional intensity drains them quickly. Silence isn't them shutting down, it's them protecting their mental battery.
And that self-protection makes them far more stable than the people who burn out by trying to impress everyone. They avoid speaking when the environment feels wrong. Here's something most people never realize. Quiet people are extremely selective about where they show their real personality. If the room feels cold and icky, they won't show their cards.
Fake, competitive, judgmental, shallow, aggressive. Their entire brain goes into observe mode, not express mode. They don't open up in unsafe environments, not because they're afraid, but because they're too smart to waste emotional energy where it won't be valued. 5. Silence is their way of staying in control.
In groups, the loudest person rarely has the most power. The calmest one does. Quiet people hold their power by choosing when to speak. Their silence creates mystery, which creates curiosity, which creates influence. People lean in. People watch them. People wonder what they're thinking. And when they finally speak,
Their words land with more weight. Because silence builds authority. Conclusion of Section 2. Quiet people aren't background characters. They're observers, thinkers, readers of energy. People who navigate groups with strategy instead of impulse. And if you've ever been the quiet one, you should know this. Your silence doesn't erase your presence. It amplifies it.
Most people misunderstand silence. They think it means someone has nothing to say, when in reality, it often means they're thinking about things nobody else even notices.
Quiet people carry a kind of psychological power that builds slowly, silently, and almost invisibly, until suddenly it changes everything. Here's what the science reveals. 1. Quiet people don't need attention, and that makes them stronger. In a world addicted to being seen, quiet people are comfortable not performing. They don't need applause. They don't need constant validation. They don't shape their personality around what others expect. And that independence creates a different kind of strength. A strength that doesn't crumble under pressure because it was never built on approval in the first place. While others chase attention, quiet people keep their focus. And focus is one of the most valuable psychological weapons a person can have. They remember everything, even the things others miss. A quiet mind observes more than it speaks. It notices details, tone, body language, contradictions, power dynamics, the things loud minds talk right over. That's why quiet people often know. Who's trustworthy? Who's pretending? Who's jealous? Who's insecure? Who's hiding something? And who's actually worth opening up to? People think they're invisible, but what they don't realize is this. Quiet people see the whole room, even when the whole room doesn't see them. 3. They think before they respond, and that makes their words hit harder. Most people speak to fill silence. Quiet people speak to add meaning. That's why when they finally talk, people listen. Their words carry weight because they weren't thrown together out of impulse. They were chosen with intention. Quiet people don't start arguments, but they can end them with a single sentence. They don't fight for control, but they often end up with it simply because they speak with clarity when others speak with noise. They read people, sometimes better than those people read themselves. This is one of the most underestimated traits of quiet individuals. They are emotional analysts.
They watch, they decode, they connect dots. And because they don't interrupt or dominate conversations, people reveal more around them, sometimes too much. Quiet people learn the truth without asking for it. They understand motives. They sense hidden emotions. They catch the energy behind people's words. It's not magic, it's awareness. 5. Their silence makes them hard to predict, and mystery is power. People fear what they can't read.
And you can't read someone who doesn't constantly advertise their thoughts. Quiet people are unpredictable, not because they're dangerous, but because they keep their intentions private. This mystery often leads to people respecting them, people being curious about them, people avoiding conflicts with them, people valuing their rare reactions, people taking their silence more seriously than others' noise. Mystery isn't emptiness.
It's influence. They save their energy for what actually matters. While loud people waste emotional energy on small things, quiet people reserve theirs. They don't argue over every opinion. They don't react to every insult. They don't chase every social moment. They choose where their mind goes. And that choice creates mental strength, stability, and long-term resilience. This is why quiet people often grow faster in life, even if nobody sees it happening at first. Conclusion of Section 3. Quiet people aren't less social, less confident, or less expressive. They're simply playing a longer game, a deeper one. Their silence protects them. Their observation guides them. Their presence speaks for them. And their mind grows in ways most people never realize. Because sometimes, the most powerful person in a room isn't the loudest voice. It's the one who understands everything without saying a word.
Most people judge quiet individuals from the outside. Shy, awkward, antisocial, not confident. But almost no one understands what's actually happening inside a quiet mind. A place far richer and more complex than most people ever realize. Let's go deeper. Quiet people feel more than they show. Silence doesn't mean emptiness. It often means overflow. A mind full of thoughts, emotions, and observations that have no space to come out all at once. Quiet people feel deeper, longer, stronger, and more intensely. Their silence isn't coldness. It's emotional traffic. Sometimes they stay quiet because their mind is processing 10 layers of emotion at the same time, while others only feel one. 2. They protect their inner world like a secret place. Quiet people build emotional boundaries naturally, not because they're defensive, but because they're selective. They won't tell their story to just anyone. They won't open up on command. They won't expose their heart to people who haven't earned it. To the loud world, this looks like being distant, but to psychology, it's high emotional intelligence. Letting the wrong person in can cost years of peace. Quiet people know this. That's why they move carefully. Silence is their safe space, not their weakness. When life gets overwhelming, loud people talk to escape their thoughts. Quiet people retreat to understand them. They don't run from emotions. They sit with them. They analyze them. They reflect, adjust, and grow internally. Their silence is a shelter, a place where their mind resets, heals, and rebuilds itself. And the world mistakes that healing for distance. They carry wounds they rarely mention. Here's a truth most people never see. Many quiet individuals learned silence from experience, from betrayal, from being misunderstood, from being ignored, or from opening up to the wrong people. Silence became their shield, their survival tool, their way to stay safe in a world that wasn't always kind. They don't hate people. They just remember how much it hurt when they trusted the wrong ones. That pain taught them emotional control. That emotional control turned into emotional strength. 5. Their thoughts are their companions. Quiet people are rarely lonely. They're mentally occupied.
Their mind is a constant conversation. Ideas, theories, memories, plans, imagination, self-awareness. Where others need noise to fill emptiness, quiet people use silence to build internal worlds. They think before they feel. Lost.
They dream before they feel bored. They observe before they feel confused. Their thoughts guide them and often save them. 6. They attract deep connections, not many connections. Quiet people don't want crowds. They want clarity. They don't want attention. They want understanding. They don't want 50 friends.
They want one person who sees them fully. This is why the relationships, when they do form, are often stronger than most. Quiet people love with intensity. They connect with loyalty. They commit with sincerity, but only to the few who truly deserve it. Conclusion of Section 4.
Being quiet isn't a flaw. It's a different operating system. One designed for depth, not noise. For truth, not performance. For observation, not chaos. Quiet people aren't hiding from the world. They're moving through it carefully, thoughtfully, meaningfully. And in the next section, we uncover the final truth. Why quiet people become the strongest people in the room, not despite their silence, but because of it. Here's the part nobody warns you about. Quiet people don't stay quiet their whole life. Something happens as they grow. Their silence transforms. It stops being a defense mechanism and becomes a superpower. A sharp awareness, a calm confidence, a deep intuition that loud people can't imitate. Let's break down the final psychological truths. 1. Quiet people become unshakable with time. Why? Because silence forces them to sit with discomfort instead of running from it. While others drown in distraction, quiet people develop internal strength. They learn how to regulate emotion, control reactions, think strategically, detach from chaos, observe without absorbing noise. This emotional discipline becomes real-life power. 2. They understand people better than people understand themselves. Quiet people listen, not just to words, but to tone, energy, body language, hesitation, motives. They see what others hide. They sense what others deny. They read rooms like open books. This makes them excellent judges of character, incredible partners, strong leaders, and emotionally safe people. Silence sharpens perception. They don't need external validation. That's why they win. Loud people chase approval. Quiet people chase clarity. Loud people need attention to feel valuable. Quiet people need alignment to feel peaceful. And here's the twist. When you don't need validation, you become unstoppable. You make decisions without fear. You walk away from wrong people. You choose what's right, not what's popular. Quiet people succeed because they're not performing for the world. They're building something real for themselves. 4. They outgrow environments that limit them. Quiet people aren't loud about their growth. They don't announce their plans. They don't broadcast their goals. They simply evolve. Silently, steadily, consistently. Until one day, they're no longer the underestimated quiet one. They're the person everyone suddenly respects.
Because growth that happens in silence shows up as success that speaks louder than words. 5. Their strength comes from depth, not volume. Quiet people love deeply, think deeply, feel deeply. That depth becomes
Empathy, intelligence, emotional maturity, psychological resilience. The world mistakes quietness for weakness, but depth is never weakness. Depth is where all the real power is. Star. The final message. Being quiet isn't less. It's a different kind of more.
More awareness, more depth, more connection, more clarity. Quiet people aren't trying to avoid the world. They're trying to understand it. And in that understanding, they become the people who change it. Because the quiet ones
are the ones who see what everyone else ignores. Now, let me ask you the real question. When you're in a group, are you quiet because you're shy or quiet because you're observing everything? Drop your answer in the comments. Your silence says more than you think.